What's happening, folks? Welcome back to the channel. It is the starting 11 prediction for the final league game of this season. It's Trophy Day tomorrow at Celtic Park. We're all ready for a big party after sealing the title at Rugby Park the other night. I hope the sore heads have worn off. Brilliant scenes, a brilliant performance. Great to be there in that away end to watch Celtic win another title, and what a way to do it. I thought the performance from start to finish was absolutely brilliant. Everybody right at it for the word go. And as I say, there's not any better way to seal a title than that. It was almost fitting to secure it in that way after what has been at times a very stressful season, and it was almost the kind of football that we've longed for at times this season. And those first three goals were peak Celtic. Brilliant wide play, overlapping fullbacks, low crosses to find somebody in the middle. Really, really good, well worked goals. Played brilliant football at a great speed on what can be a difficult pitch at times. It was a brilliant, brilliant way to win a league title. And as I say, soaking in the celebrations afterwards, watching the players and the fans and the staff coming together to celebrate. It was absolutely amazing. I didn't go home till about midnight, but I spent another hour and a half watching all the scenes back, all the interviews with the players. Brilliant to see the joy, the interviews with the manager as well. I think something to really take away from what Brendan Rodgers has been saying in the last couple of weeks, or the last week or so, is he found the first 6 months really difficult with numerous issues. He thought it was a bit awkward at times. I think that's true. I think even for us, it was a bit surreal that Brendan Rodgers was back as manager of the club. There was so many off the field things from it to deal with. The Liel Abada situation will be something that he's probably never came across something like that. There was a period where the Green Brigade were out of the stadium. There was really no atmosphere. We were going through a big dip in form. We lost back-to-back games in the league, which is really, really unlike us. And as I say, at times, the slow football, the sluggish performances, it looked like you couldn't see how we were going to get there. We were going to get over the line because we're so used to watching a Celtic team be really strong throughout a campaign. But we had to win it a different way this season. And as we've got to the crunch time, as we've got to the business end of the season where it's got tight and it's been difficult, that's when the players have really stood up and delivered, and they've brought a high level. And as I say, we talked about it after the game, both after the derby last week, and at Rugby Park again on Wednesday. The mentality of the team is so strong. There's so many winners in that team that have been over the course, and once again they have delivered for us. Rangers, on the other hand, when they were ahead in this title race, they couldn't hack it. They don't have that mentality to win things, to get things over the line in difficult circumstances, to lead, to be under pressure. They don't have it. This Celtic team has it, and yet again they have delivered another league title. So for tomorrow, we obviously face St Mirren. It's the third time we've faced them at Celtic Park this season. They get the short straw because we had to play another home game to make it 19 at home and 19 away. They have secured fifth place. They've only had one win in their last 5 games, but they do have some form of European football secured. I think they'll start some way back in the Conference League qualifiers. So they don't have too much riding on the game. And as I say, often with these trophy days, we can play with the shackles off, and we sometimes get a huge high scoring performance on other days because you've just had the celebrations from sealing the title. He can be a wee bit below par, but let's hope tomorrow in the sunshine at Celtic Park we have a brilliant day, a brilliant performance, and we can just party long into the night and look ahead, obviously, to that big game at Hampden next weekend, the Scottish Cup final, where hopefully, if we can continue this form, we can seal a league and cup double. Right, we'll get to this starting lineup then, the final league starting lineup of the season, and Joe Hart will play his final game at Celtic Park for Celtic. What a brilliant signing for the club. Even the other night watching the celebrations, you just know the reception he's going to get tomorrow will be absolutely unbelievable. The biggest compliment I can pay him, I remember vividly making the video. I've referenced it once or twice throughout his time here. People were unsure about the signing at first because his career had been stop-start and he'd been on the bench a lot at Burnley and then at Spurs, and people didn't really know where he was at. He'd obviously played abroad as well, and what I said was often you get big names coming up from England who think it's maybe quite easy in Scotland and they don't bring the right level of professionalism and the right approach. They don't have the right mindset, but Joe Hart has been absolutely impeccable in terms of his leadership what he's brought to the team. You can see how much he means to his teammates, and I think as a figure of experience and leadership in that dressing room, he's been absolutely brilliant. That's aside from his goalkeeping ability, which, don't get me wrong, like every player over a 3-4 year span, you're going to have dips in form, but his goalkeeping's been really good, and he was exactly what we needed, because we had the shambles that was Barkas during COVID, and we needed a really solid, steady figure in between the sticks, and Joe Hart has been that. But more than that, as I say, as somebody that sets a culture, as a leader in this team, you cannot fault him for 1 minute. He's been absolutely brilliant, and I think it's going to be as difficult to replace him in terms of his presence and what he brings to that team in terms of leadership. It's going to be as difficult to replace that as it is his goalkeeping ability. That's probably the biggest job we've got on this summer. There's lots of positions that we might need to strengthen throughout the team, but that is a big one, because he's been a huge figure for this Celtic team over the last 3 seasons. And he deserves to go out on a high. He deserves to get an amazing reception tomorrow, and the icing in the cake would be sealing a League and Cup double at Hampden next weekend. But I cannot speak highly enough of Joe Hart and the job he's done in his time here. Back four, I'm going to go unchanged. Johnston, Carter, Vickers, Scales and Taylor. Johnston really good the other night, gets the assist for Maeda's goal. As I say, we were playing really, really well in terms of getting to the byline. Johnston overlapping Forrest. That wee triangles over there with Forrest, O'Reilly, Johnston, Hatate getting involved at times as well. We just played brilliant stuff the other night, and Johnston was involved in that. A few sore heads, I think, maybe for the team as well, because I've seen some videos of them out celebrating, out partying on Wednesday night. So hopefully these players will be all right. I know the big man, Carter Vickers, obviously had a few beers. It was brilliant to see those scenes, but I'm just going to stick with that back four. In midfield, I don't think there'll be any changes either. McGregor, O'Reilly, Hatate, all brilliant the other night. I think Matt O'Reilly, head and shoulders again above everybody else on the pitch. Technically, he's just brilliant. His touch, his passing, the 2 goals he scored, you see the difference there, where he's able to open up in his left foot, like the goal against Rangers. And this one, he smashes high into the roof of the net. And then the second one, he's got the composure and the calmness just to take a touch and guide it past the keeper into the far corner. He got the assist for the first goal for Adam Ida as well. Just involved all night. What a brilliant player. What a joy it is to watch him. And you're just clinging on to hope that we can get at least another season of watching him in the hoops. He's been absolutely brilliant. 18 goals and 18 assists is remarkable numbers for a midfield player. He's really taken his game to another level this season. And the other thing that I have to pay credit to him for is what he gives to the club in terms of his time off the pitch. I know that he goes up to the Paradise pit stop once a week and sometimes just volunteers his time to help out off his own back under no obligation. And obviously we had the sort of story the other week there that he goes up to the Children's Hospital as well and puts in the time to sit and play video games with the kids. He's an absolute credit to this football club, Matt O'Reilly, and what a player he is. And as I say, hopefully we can just enjoy watching him for some while longer before some other bigger club with more money than we can offer snatches him away. He's been an absolute joy to watch. I'm going for changes in the front three. I think Kuhn might come in on the right hand side, Maeda on the left, and I'm going back to Kyogo through the middle. But I think it was an absolute masterstroke from Brendan Rodgers to play Adam Ida on Wednesday. Kilmarnock have caused us problems at Rugby Park when they've been aggressive and they've came and pressed us. But Ida gave us an out ball. Whenever the ball went up to him, it stuck. He linked the play really well. I thought he was brilliant all night, Adam Ida. And as I say, I thought he was just perfect. Absolutely perfect for playing away against Kilmarnock, given the problems we've had at times there this season. It totally nullified Kilmarnock's ability to get at us, and I know that we played so well they might not have been able to do that anyway because of how well we moved the ball, but there was plenty of times where we were able to even go just a wee bit more direct. I'm not talking Rangers hoofball direct, but just a wee bit more direct from a centre half into Ida's feet. And all of a sudden the full game just opened up. I thought he was really, really good. But again, haven't seen those videos of the celebrations. The big man was on the mic in the pub singing Champions again. So he might have a wee sore head. I think Kyogo can come in and start this game, and then it'll be a big decision for the manager next week as to whether he goes with Kyogo, whose record against Rangers has been absolutely brilliant. and he offers that threat in behind, or Ida, who has scored so many big goals for us. And that's the thing that I have to mention as well. We would not be here celebrating another league title without the influence of Adam Ida. We were all unsure about his introduction in January because of how much of a shambles that transfer window was. He almost became symbolic of the lack of activity, and his signature came so late in the window that we thought it was rushed. But to his credit, he's been brilliant and he scored so many big goals, the 2 at Easter Road, the 2 penalties, but the goals that really changed this season for us and put us on a course to win the title are the 2 at Rugby Park. A brilliant header, and then that finish with his left foot in added time. We would not be sitting here as champions without Adam Ida, and he deserves massive, massive credit. And I know there's a huge, huge outcry for us to secure him permanently in the summer. We'll talk about all of these things in the close season in terms of recruitment and who we need to bring in. But I, for one, would certainly back that as well, because I think he's brought something different to this team, and I think he's more than merited Celtic trying to secure him permanently. I'm just going Kuhn the right hand side. He should be fresh because he's been the bench the last couple of weeks. James Forrest has been excellent. He was excellent again on Wednesday. I just think again Forrest off the bench tomorrow, maybe keep him fresh for next weekend for the cup final. It's really hard to determine what the lineup will be tomorrow. Not a huge amount riding on the game. Brendan Rodgers might see fit to just keep the same 11, and we can go out hopefully with a bang and then lift the trophy and have the celebrations afterwards. Or he might see fit to maybe rest 1 or 2 players who obviously the manager and the coaching staff will have all the data on and know who's maybe in the red zone, as they call it. But that's 11 I think you'll go with. You can let me know what you think in the comments below. We'll see you at Celtic Park tomorrow for a party, for another title party, wherever you're watching the game. Enjoy it, and we will see you afterwards tomorrow. Thank you.